Picture this. You just got your first paycheck. Maybe it's from your summer job, your side hustle, or your first real career gig. You've heard people say, make your money work for you 1,000 times. But here's the thing. When you open up an investing app, you're hit with two big words, stocks and bonds. Which one do you pick? What's the difference? And why do people seem to have such strong opinions about them? Today we're breaking it all down in the simplest way possible. No confusing jargon, no boring finance talk. Just straight answers that'll help you understand exactly what you're dealing with. And remember, this video is for educational purposes only. So let's dive in. Section 1. What is a stock? So, what exactly is a stock? Here's the easiest way to think about it. When you buy a stock, you're buying a tiny piece of a company. That's it. You become a part owner. Let me tell you about my friend Jake. He's 22, works at a coffee shop, and loves his iPhone. One day, he thought, Apple seems like a solid company. What if I owned a piece of it? So he bought $500 worth of Apple stock, about 2 shares at the time. Fast forward 6 months. Apple launches a new product everyone loves, sales skyrocket, and suddenly Jake's $500 is worth $650. He didn't do anything. He just owned a piece of a company that did well. That's how stocks work. You make money in 2 ways. 1. Capital gains. This is when the stock price goes up and you sell it for more than you paid. Just like Jake, he made $150 profit this way. 2. Dividends. Some companies share their profits with stockholders. It's like getting a little bonus check just for owning the stock. But not all companies do this. Fast-growing companies like Tesla often skip dividends because they're reinvesting that money to grow even bigger. Now here's the catch, and it's a big one. Stock prices can swing wildly, like really wildly. Jake could have easily lost $150 if Apple had a bad quarter, or if the overall market took a nosedive. That's the trade-off. Higher potential rewards, but also higher risk. Okay, so stocks are about ownership. But what about bonds? Let's talk about it in the next section. Section 2. What is a bond? Bonds are completely different. When you buy a bond, you're not buying a piece of a company. You're loaning money to them, or to the government. Basically, you become the bank. Let's say the government needs to build new highways. They issue bonds to raise money. You buy a $1,000 bond with a 5% interest rate that lasts 10 years. Here's what happens. Every year, the government pays you $50. That's your 5% interest, also called a coupon payment. After 10 years, they give you back your original $1,000. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? It is, mostly. But here's where bonds get interesting and where a lot of beginners get confused. Let me tell you about Lori. She bought that same $1,000 bond paying 5% interest. A year later, interest rates across the economy jumped to 6%. Now, new bonds are being issued that pay $60 a year instead of Lori's $50. Suddenly, Lori's bond looks less attractive. Who wants a bond paying $50 when they could get one paying $60 for the same $1,000? So if Lori tried to sell her bond right now, she'd have to drop the price. Maybe she'd only get $900 for it. That way, the new buyer would still get a good deal even with the lower interest payments. This is the golden rule of bonds. When interest rates go up, bond prices go down. When interest rates go down, bond prices go up. It's like a seesaw. They move in opposite directions. So how do stocks and bonds actually stack up against each other? Let's talk about it in the next section. Section 3, the key differences. Let's break down the 5 biggest differences. 1. Ownership versus lending. With stocks, you own part of the company. With bonds, you're just lending money. Think of it like this. Stockholders are business partners. Bondholders are the bank. 2. How you make money. Stocks make money through price increases and sometimes dividends. Bonds make money through regular interest payments. Stocks are unpredictable. Bonds are scheduled and steady. Third risk level. Stocks are the roller coaster, thrilling but scary. Bonds are the merry-go-round, much calmer but less exciting. Over a short period, you could lose 30% in stocks easily. With bonds from stable governments or big companies, losses are typically much smaller. 4. Return potential. Over the long haul, we're talking decades, stocks have historically returned around 8 to 10% per year on average. Bonds? Usually around 3 to 5%. That's a huge difference when you're building wealth over 20 or 30 years. 5. Your role. When you own stocks in a company like Nike and you have voting shares, you actually get a say in major company decisions. But for bondholders, you get zero say. You're just waiting for your check. Now that you understand the differences between stocks and bonds, let's jump into the next section. Section 4. The real-world strategy. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Which one should you invest in? The answer? Both. And here's why. Remember the phrase, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket"? That's literally the entire philosophy behind smart investing. It's called diversification. Let me introduce you to two people. Meet Marcus. He's 25, just graduated, and landed his first job. His investment portfolio? 80% stocks, 20% bonds. You might be thinking, why so heavy on stocks? Because he's got time. Even if the market crashes tomorrow, he's got 40 years until retirement. He can ride out the storms and capture those bigger long-term gains. Now, meet Linda. She's 55, planning to retire in 5 years. Her portfolio? 30% stocks, 70% bonds. She's flipping the ratio because she can't afford a major market crash right before retirement. She needs that stability. She needs to know her money will be there when she needs it. This balance, called asset allocation, changes as you age. It's like adjusting your driving speed based on road conditions. When you're young, you can afford to speed up and take risks. When you're closer to your goal, you slow down and play it safe. Here's the beautiful part. During bad economic times, bonds often hold steady or even increase in value while stocks drop. They work like a safety net. In 2025, bonds have actually outperformed stocks during market volatility, providing that traditional portfolio cushion investors count on. Section 5. Practical tips for beginners. Before we wrap up, here are 3 quick tips for anyone just starting out. Tip number 1. Start with what you know. If you're buying stocks, invest in companies whose products you use and understand. Love your sneakers? Look into Nike. Use Netflix every day. Research their stock. It's easier to believe in companies you already believe in. Tip number 2. Think long-term. Don't check your investments every single day. Seriously. Daily price swings will drive you crazy and make you panic sell at the worst times. Set it, forget it, and check quarterly. Tip number 3, start small, but start now. You don't need thousands of dollars. Many apps let you invest with as little as $5 or $10. The magic isn't in having a lot of money, it's in giving your money time to grow. Even small amounts compound over decades. So there you have it, stocks versus bonds, fully explained. Stocks give you ownership and growth potential with higher risk. Bonds give you steady income and stability with lower returns. The smartest investors? They use both, adjusting their mix based on their age, goals, and how much risk they can stomach. Now, if you'd like to know more about stocks and how they work, I made a dedicated video about it. You can click the video popping up on your screen and watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you there.